Namaskaram. I pay my solemn obeisance to all the viewers. Dear viewers, today we are going to discuss on the chapter 11th of the book Genesis of Old Testament of Bible. This chapter gives us the indication as how the language were created, all the languages were created. And this is very funny and amazing. You would note that the method provided here and the process which is mentioned here is highly unscientific. Blatant lies are used to explain the thing which even for modern linguists it is very difficult to explain the creation of a language. So now this chapter contains 32 verses, but the most important are the first 10 verses. The first verse reads that the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. This is so blatant lie that nobody would believe. Even children would not believe that the whole earth was at a time speaking one language. This is against the historical evidences and against the linguistic evidences. Never in the history the whole earth was dominated by one tribe and by one speech, by one language. The fourth verse reads, and they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. So during that time, those golden era when you could build a tower which could go unto heaven. Our modern architect and builders are building so big structures, but they have not been able to reach unto heaven. But during those golden era, they used to build the building which could go to the heaven. Either the heaven was very placed at very low level, or their structures are very big. Even with the best engineering design, you could not build the structure which could go unto when moon. The 5th verse reads, "And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower." So this is again a very funny thing, that at that time Lord had too much extra time to visit to the city, but today our builders have so much build a township, but they have not been able to invoke God, Lord, to visit the township. But during those time, God used to visit to the town just to see whether the township is building in a good manner and in the way the Lord thought should be built. And the 6th verse reads, "And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language." This is again the same repetition, and the Lord is saying that people have one language. Now the God would confound in the another verse, the God would confound the people, and then language would be created, many languages would be created. So see how languages had been created by the confusion. So here the word, another typical word is used in the 9th verse. Okay, I would go to the letter, but here in the 7th verse it is mentioned that go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Suddenly what happened, that people ceased to understand their language, each other's language. At that time there was only one language, and suddenly what happened, that they did not understand the language, their own language. So they were in total confusion. And so what happened after that confusion? So Lord scattered them abroad. In the 8th verse it reads, "So the Lord scattered them abroad," because they were not understanding each other's language. "From hence upon the face of all the earth and they left off to build the city. So they left the place, God scattered them so that they could build their own city in their own style. The 9th verse reads, therefore is the name of it called Babel. See here, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. So Lord God confounded people with the Babel and scattered them to the various parts of the world so that they could build their own cities and they could make their own language. They could develop their own language. So how the languages had been developed, just see the signs of this Lord God, that first the Lord God confounded them and then scattered them, and languages, different languages developed. The 10th verse reads, these are the generations of Shem. And now the generations of Shem, who begat Arphaxad, and after the passing of many generations, we got the name of Abram. So Terah, he begat Abram, Nahor and Haran. So genealogy of Abram is given. That is not so important. Main thing is the development of language, how language developed in different parts of the world. So the languages developed because of the confusion which God created among the various people who were at one time used to speak same language, same speech, and then God scattered them so that they could develop their own language, they could build their own city, and the length of the building should be so high so as to touch, so as to enter into the heaven. So this is the amazing Bible which billions of people are accepting as genuine book, as the book which gives the light of truth, light of spirituality. So just see the content of the book and decide yourself. Om.